What is up, YouTube? My name is Mario, aka the real Super Mario here, bringing you a different type of video. So this was going to be more of a discussion type of video today. So I ran across an article on Nintendo Life. I do kind of peruse the news sites to see if there's any newsworthy stuff, if there's any more Super Nintendo Switch leaks and rumors and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I got another one of those videos coming out this week. But I found this article, and they were just talking about the Super Nintendo Switch, but it's not talking about it in the way you would have thought. Basically, this article is talking about the fact that the Super Nintendo Switch, or the Switch 2, doesn't necessarily need backwards compatibility.
You serious?
Yeah. That's an interesting concept. I'm gonna be like, I don't know. I got my own opinions about that. I'm probably gonna drop at the end of the video. Of course, tell me in the comments down below, do you think that the system needs backwards compatibility? Should it, or does it not need it? Do we just start over? You know what I'm saying? Of course, if you don't want a discussion video like this, you can check out any of my other videos. I did a video on the worst designs, the worst Pokemon designs in Scarlet and Violet. You can check that out. You know what I'm saying? That one's more of a funny haha. You know what I'm saying? Clowning on all these trash designs in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It is more funny haha though. It's not really that negative. So, it is what it is. Or you can check out whatever my latest coverage is of the leaks and rumors. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that video happens to be, you can put that right there as well. So yeah, let's get on into this. Alright, so he starts the article off with, first things first, I would love Switch 2 to be backwards compatible. In an ideal world, I'd like every new system to be compatible with the last and prior generations too. Every time a new console rolls around, my backlog from previous geners gets buried beneath another layer of digital dust before getting lost altogether in the shiny swell of new games and on shiny new systems. There's a huge peace of mind benefit to being able to pack up an old console knowing that I can still play the games on the new hotness. However, as fresh rumors surrounding the successor emerge freshly churned from the rumor mill on a weekly basis, I find myself realizing that Nintendo's next console really doesn't need backwards compatibility. In fact, it needs it less than any other previous Nintendo console, and perhaps any console ever. Okay, that's pretty big. I don't know about that one, sir. Sir and or ma'am, I didn't get who wrote this. If you really think about it, like something like the Switch not being able to play Wii and Wii U games is because they went in a completely different direction with the console. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the console doesn't have discs. It has cartridges, all that kind of stuff. So it would be kind of impossible. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't want to put a disc drive on the system. Now, the only other way for them to do it would have been to have it emulated through software, which is possible. And of course, if the architecture for the new console is way different than the current Switch, that could be an option. But that's the only reason why I would see there not being backwards compatibility, if they just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But nah, if they could do it, and this next system's gonna have cartridges just like this one, you should probably just go ahead and do it, to be honest. But then they continue. The ability to play games on GameCube and Wii games on Wii U made upgrading marginally easier decision. But the reality is that I would have gotten the new systems eventually regardless. For lifelong gamers, convenience and peace of mind are two of the main reasons we care so much about still being able to access previous gen games on our new systems. The peace of mind that we'll still have direct and immediate access to our existing library without the inconvenience of digging out an old console or worrying if it still works. I'll say, but yeah, I get what he's saying here. Convenience it's more than just convenience though. I mean, because like with the 3DS, I didn't really have a lot of money back then, right? I had enough money for the system, I didn't necessarily have enough money to buy a bunch of games. So most of the games I was playing on my 3DS were DS games. You know what I'm saying? I was playing like daggone, Final Fantasy Tactics, and I was playing like Black and White 2 and stuff like that for a while after I got my DS, my 3DS. So, I mean, being able to just buy the system and then buy the games later is a big thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that makes it work for some people. But he continues. However, the obsessive gamers among us are more likely to keep our old consoles, and keeping our trusty Switch in a state of readiness is an easier task than those bulky home consoles. I needn't worry about airflow or finding space for connecting cables. Worst case scenario, I pick it out of the drawer and charge it for a while. You keep your Switch in a drawer? Like, that's crazy. Even my old consoles, I mean, I just put it back in the box and I put it in the closet. You know what I'm saying? Dang, you put your jam in the drawer with the old busted cell phones and stuff. That's disrespectful. From Nintendo's point of view, the benefits of implementing Switch game compatibility, even if the rumored NVIDIA chip on board the new system makes it feasible and relatively simple, may not outweigh the potential cons. Yes, you can get a comforting selling point for the box that'll go down particularly well with parents, but cutting technical ties with the previous platform helps establish the new system as its own thing. Nintendo will be desperate not to confuse people as they did with the Wii U. That's actually a really good point. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't really the fault of the system. That was the fault of the marketing. Like, I mean, making the Switch or the Super Nintendo Switch like not backwards compatible is not gonna help it if the marketing is garbage. Because the marketing was bad for the Wii U, which is what confused people in the first place. So it's good, but it's also kind of not, Perhaps more relevant to Nintendo's bottom line and the firm's overall approach to hackers and homebrew, any potential avenue to piracy will be locked tight with the Switch 2. The original Switch, launched in 2017, was replaced by a revision incorporating updated chip for the Lite and OLED models due to an exploit discovered by hackers, essentially an unpatchable vulnerability in the NVIDIA chipset. The flaw blew the doors off the systems. Good lord. The system's security very early in the life cycle. The updated SKUs fixed the issue, but the damage was already done, and there are videos of Nintendo Switch games running at 4K on PC, sometimes before they're even publicly available on Switch, are now par for the course. If there's any chance whatsoever that backwards compatibility could prove useful to hackers and pirates, Nintendo simply won't include it in the next system. That's also a possibility. Now the thing is, though, the one way to fix this is by just doing software emulation out the rip. All right, so just have it so that the software, like the actual backwards compatibility is not hardware based, so it's not an actual Switch cartridge compartment on the new Switch. You know what I'm saying? That it's running via software emulation. You know what I'm saying? So that the laser or whatever it is that reads the cartridge is all of that Switch 2 stuff, but once you put a Switch game in there, it defaults to the software that's going to emulate the Switch environment so you can play the games. This way, they can't really use any type of hardware, vulnerability or chip architecture issue to be able to do that. But I mean, they're going to do it eventually anyway. They're going to find some way to get around it. That's just the nature of the internet and the homebrew hacking community. And they continue. And then, of course, there's the ability to sell us last-gen games all over again. Hey, it worked for this gen with Wii U games. And Sony did nicely milking The Last of Us 3 times in the last 9 years, and that last version was kind of trash. um, so why not again? In reality, I'm not convinced Nintendo would take this path of diminishing returns. The Wii U ports for this generation were a direct result of the system's commercial failure, and even the most cynical among us would likely concede that this steady stream of deluxe upgrades have given new life to games that deserved more attention than they got originally. Sure, Zelda Breath of the Wild on Switch 2 would sell, but it's hardly compatible with the company's MO to surprise and delight. And I think we can all agree that Breath of the Wild got its dues, sold over 30 million copies and counting. Now, this is kind of interesting because I actually believe that a upgraded version of Breath of the Wild is a bigger possibility than you think. I mean, because remember, allegedly, the tech demo for this new system was an updated version of Breath of the Wild. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try to do that again. Not to mention what? I mean, it will be like 8 years since the original Breath of the Wild came out. So I think I can see them doing an upgraded like 4K Uber version of Breath of the Wild. Maybe they'll throw in some quality of life things from Tears of the Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even they'll try to do some retcons or something. I don't know. With the Switch now over halfway into its 7th year, many of us have upgraded and have multiple Switches in the house. I don't have multiple Switches. Unlike its bulky home console brethren, the rigmarole and inconvenience of digging one of these out to play Breath of the Wild is negligible. As great as it would be, I don't need to be able to play Breath of the Wild or Odyssey or Smash Bros. Ultimate on my Super Switch. I would imagine that the retro games currently accessible through the Nintendo Switch Online will transfer over to the new platform in some form. If not in entirety, I'm sure we'll get a convoluted Nintendo-style solution, but maintaining the value of the subscription service will be essential. And that substantial catalog of retro games is a simple way to deliver continuity alongside that peace of mind we're all chasing. I'll bet via a subscription service, which will be shut down at any moment, because of course everybody's crying about them shutting down the Nintendo service now. So with this, to be honest, I think this is weird. Now, of course, if you're really looking at it from like just straight up logic, no system needs backwards compatibility to function, or to sell. The Switch did not have any backwards compatibility, and it sold like hotcakes. Okay, so technically they're not wrong, but it would be a huge blow to the system if it didn't. All right, I mean, especially since unlike the Switch to Wii U, the Wii U to Switch, we don't have a change in like media. It's the same type of media. It's the same the same type of cartridges, probably just with a bigger format because they're going to be bigger games. So it would be crazy if they didn't have that. Not to mention, how are you going to get digital games over? I think now with digital games being a thing, I think it would be easier now to just, digitally move the games over to the new console. You know what I'm saying? But tell me what you think down in the comments. Do you think that the Nintendo should just give up on the backwards compatibility and just not do it and just start anew? Because I'm probably going to keep my Switch. Depending on if this next system is portable or not. If the next system is not portable, I'm definitely keeping my Switch. Because I need something to play when I'm on the go. When I'm at work, when I'm on lunch or something. Pull out the system and play some Triangle Strategy. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what you think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, people, keep it real.